Today I want to talk about something I mention in just about every tutorial, and that's the foundation border. If you've ever struggled with adding a border to your crochet project, or you've had edges that look a little messy, this is where the foundation border comes in really handy. It gives a smooth, even base to build on, so any border you add later will look polished and professional, but really you could even stop right there, which is something I do all the time. A simple foundation border can be a beautiful finish all on its own. I've done a video about this before, about my 5 favorite essential borders, but I'm adding a foundation border to a sample right now, and I thought it was a great time to share my top tips as a little bit more of a walkthrough. And later in the video, I've got some really interesting hacks to share that will make the process even easier. By the way, if you hear snoring in the background, that is my beautiful Sadie girl. We had a big scare with her last weekend and I thought we were going to lose her. So I am so grateful she's here and happy to have plenty of snoring in the background. When it comes to weaving in the ends, I would recommend that you do it within the body of the work instead of the sides. I used to like weaving them down the sides because I thought that would keep them nice and hidden. But what I found has happened instead. I actually loosen up those ends more as I'm putting that foundation border in. And it also makes those stitches a little bit more bulky and harder to work into when I want to do that foundation border. So I found it's a lot easier just to weave in the ends within the body of the project and just do it really, really well. All you're doing with a single crochet border is matching the stitches. So you're doing 1 single crochet per stitch. The goal here is to make your project nice and flat. A good rule to remember is if everything is looking too wavy or ripply, that means you have too many stitches. Or if it's looking really tight and puckered, that means you don't have enough stitches. Your foundation border is also a great place to fix those issues. So if you have a piece that is already wavy or already tight, by simply manipulating those single crochets, you can really help fix those issues. Now, one big tip to keep in mind, if you have a certain stitch count that you want to adhere to and you are afraid of adding or removing stitches, you can do the same kind of thing with your hook. Instead of adding and taking away stitches, you can go up and down with your hook size. The bigger the hook, the looser the stitch will be, and the smaller the hook, the tighter the stitch will be. So that's always a good option to try to help straighten those edges with that. And as I'm doing this, I can test. This is already looking a little bit like it's curling on me, maybe getting a little tight. If I find that that continues to happen, this is where I can add an extra single crochet to help loosen things back up. On the other hand, if it's getting too wavy and I want to cut it down a little bit, I can either skip over completely. See here, I just went over that stitch entirely to help reduce the stitches, or I can do a decrease. To do a decrease, go in 1 stitch, pull the yarn through, go into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches. This is a really great way to handle those seams on the sides, like when you're working with granny squares and you have that kind of indentation or dip. You can do something like this as a decrease, and that will give you a stitch at the top to help pull those squares together. To begin your foundation border, you can either start in a corner or on the sides. A plus to working in the corner is that you can hide all of your extra tails and weaving in, so it's less noticeable. The other benefit of starting in the corner is that way you can determine your stitch count for one side, which will help you a lot for the opposite side. This is also a great time to talk about those corners. A good rule of thumb for this is to work with an odd number, so 3, 5, or 7. It really depends on what you need to get around that corner while keeping it nice and flat. You don't want it to get too wavy, and you don't want it to get too tight to where it curls up on you. Another reason the odd number is so good is because it helps you with your stitch counts on the sides. So you have 1 for one side, 1 for the other side, and 1 for the corner space. So as you're counting your stitches, that middle one doesn't really count. It's just a spacer. And you can do it a couple of different ways. You can do 3 single crochets, or you could do 1 single crochet, 2 chains, 1 single crochet. You're doing 1 for one side, 1 for the other. So those 2 chains just count as a space. when I start in a corner, I like to do half of a corner and then work the other half on the other side. This is also another way to give a nice clean finish or edge. I like to start with a standing single crochet. This replaces the slip stitch chain 1 that typically serves as a single crochet. I take the yarn, wrap it around my fingers, go through the loop and pull the yarn through, and then tighten. That's a slip knot. Find my corner. Just find where it looks like it makes sense to start a corner. Pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. And that's a standing single crochet. And what's really nice about this is when you complete the round, you can actually undo this knot and everything will stay in place. I'll show you when we get there. For this demonstration, I'm going to do a single crochet, chain 2 single crochet. So I'm going to complete this corner on the other side. As I'm doing these single crochets, this is going to help me establish the stitch count that works to help match the other side. So here I am at the end, the very last stitch, and this is where I'm working my corner. Single, chain 2, single for my corner. Now for the rough edges. This is what really trips people up, and this is the place where I get the most questions. Again, you can use your single crochets to help straighten things out. If it's getting too tight, add more stitches. If it's getting too loose, take some away. But the hard part here is figuring out, well, how many single crochets do I do? The simple answer is whatever it takes to make it stay nice and flat. But for a guide, a simple guide is to match, again, the height of the stitch with single crochets. So I'm going to place a chart on the screen right now for the average number of single crochets per stitch. And a good idea is to play around with that first side, see what number you come up with at the end that worked really well for you, and then just replicate that on the other side. Now this can be really challenging to make those single crochets look nice, straight, and uniform. One thing I do recommend is try to avoid wrapping your single crochets around the whole of the stitch. And that's because it does create a big gap. Instead, what makes it look a lot straighter is just to work under 2 stitches. So here's a great example right here. You can work your single crochets around the entire stitch like this. But can you see how that makes it look a little bit gappy? What I found works a lot better is to work into that bulkiness. And I try to stick to about 2 strands of yarn. Now, because I've got some carried yarn, that may be more like 3 strands. But again, this is something I just kind of play with to see what looks the best and what lays nice and flat. And now we've come to the next edge, and I'm just going to count how many stitches I worked here and use that as my guide for this side. Single, chain 2, single, making sure just to pull up 2 strands to keep that as nice and straight as possible. And then the same thing for this raw edge. I'm going to see what worked well for the stitch count on this side and match it with this side. Again, trying to only work under 2 stitches or 2 strands of yarn. And we're back to the original corner, and I have one more stitch left to do for the side and complete that corner. So I'm going to do one single crochet and now a chain 2. Now at this point you can do a slip stitch into the very first stitch to complete the border. Just snip the yarn and weave in the tail. And this is perfectly fine to do. That's the beauty of working in a corner, because you can do that. No one's going to see your work here. But if you do want to do an invisible join, then after you've completed your chain 2, create a nice long strand for yourself. Snip the yarn. Take your tapestry needle. This is my favorite one. People always ask about it. It is the Susan Bates finishing needle. I ordered them off of Amazon. And then I go into the next stitch over. So not the one where you would have done your slip stitch, but into the next one over. We're skipping a stitch, going through the top of both strands of that next stitch. There's your chain again, make it nice and clear. And then take and work into the back loop of the chain. And if you see here, you have joined the chain and completed the top of that stitch. Now, as you can see, you still have the little knot and the standing single crochet here. All you need to do is undo that knot. All right. Yours will be a lot neater than mine was here, but then you just pull it and it disappears. And then usually what I do after I've undone it is I add another knot. I just take that knot and redo it with the old strand. But if you do not like having knots in your work, then don't do that. Just weave those two ends in. I just like to do one little twisty tie there, and then weave in my ends. And that's how you do a foundation border. And at this point, you can call this piece done or add another round or edging to your piece, as many as you like. And just as a side note, if you do want to do an extra round of single crochets, just repeat what you just did. 1 single crochet per stitch all the way across, and then 3 single crochets for your corners. Or like I did here, 1 single, chain 2, 1 single. Easy peasy. Now, if you have a piece that has a very unruly raw edge that needs a lot of help, I did a video all about that, where you use slip stitches to clean up that side before you do your single crochet border. I'm going to add a card here, and you can click above to go straight to it, but I'll also put a link to it at the end of the video and in the description box. And the other hack I have for you that I absolutely love is a slip stitch single combo, where you're not just doing slip stitches on the sides, you're doing it all the way around. And the result with this is a neat decorative line that goes all the way around your project, straightens out those raw edges, and gives you a polished border all at the same time. Here is the card for that one, but I'll also put it in the description box below and at the end of this video. Now, if you're new to crochet and you'd like some more tips like this, I'd recommend that you check out my Crochet Companion. It's packed with handy references like stitch height guides, blanket measurements. I'm really proud of it, and it's a reference that I made for myself that I refer to time and time again. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description box so you can see everything that's included in that, and I'm always expanding on it and adding new things to it. So even if you buy this version now, when I update it, you will get an email with a link to the newer versions. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, a like is always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.